Since the beginning of time, man has searched for the ultimate mode of transportation. A vehicle in which could take you anywhere that you wanted to go. Now, that beast has been released. Back in 1993, the XR650L was born. Arguably the best motorcycle ever produced. A design so good that they never changed a single thing. Quite an impressive steed.
What's up, guys? Trying to have a little fun here in this crazy ass world we live in, and thought I'd share some of these upgrades that I've done on this bike. The two best upgrades that I've done so far to date on this motorcycle, and we'll get right into it. I put some brand new tires on. Let me see if I can get the lighting up just a little. Brand new tires. They're Tusk Dsport, I believe they're called. They're quite a bit more aggressive than the factory tires that came with this motorcycle. I believe they were Bridgestone. I can't remember the model number of the Bridgestones that were on here, but they weren't nearly as aggressive as far as off-road pattern. My mission for this bike is to be able to street it some, but I'm more of about a 50-50 guy. I mean, I try to spend about half the time on the dirt roads and on the gravel. But you know, you have to drive on tarmac to get there a lot of times, you know, or on blacktop. So anyways, put brand new knobby tires on it, and man, what an incredible difference that alone made. One of the things that these XR650Ls suffer from is that first and second gear is kind of far apart, at least with the gearing that comes from the factory. So I did a lot of research, and I mean, I did tons of research trying to figure out what was the best gear ratio for a true 50-50 bike. I still want to be able to do 75 miles an hour on the thing without blowing it up. But at the same time, I don't need to be able to go 100 on a dirt bike. I want this thing to be a massive hill climbing beast. I want it to have hole shot power, you know, stuff like that. So what I did was I changed out the front drive sprocket from a 15 tooth to a 14 tooth. And I put the primary drive sprocket on there. It's quite a bit thicker. If you don't know about that, on these XR650Ls, the factory put kind of a thin front drive sprocket on there, and they have a tendency to wear the output shaft. So to avoid that, a few manufacturers, Fritzco, I believe was the first company to do it. So you can maybe find them online. I couldn't find any of them on eBay anymore. So I don't know if they closed their eBay store or what the deal is, or maybe they closed their store from the, maybe they didn't make it through the Rona bull crap. So who knows? But anyways, I couldn't find Fritzco. That's what I wanted, because they were the ones that, you know, came up with the original idea. And it's basically just a thicker sprocket this way. So it touches more of the counter spline, or the output shaft splines. So therefore it'll be less likely to wear. So I upgraded that. I put a brand new chain on it. Although this bike only has 1,600 miles on it, it had the factory original chain and sprockets on it. So it had a 15 in the front and a 45 in the rear. And I just felt like first gear was way too, it was set up more for, I guess you'd say, tall. I don't know how to really say it, but it was set up more for street bike riding. And I ride on the dirt quite a lot, and I ride with other people that ride on the dirt. And I was having to run around on the trails in first gear all the time. I could never get out of first gear. And it was very frustrating, because there were times I needed to get out of first gear, but as soon as I shifted into second, then I'd have to shift again, you know, here real soon, because second didn't have enough grunt to get you through. You couldn't pull away in second, you know, and it would bog down and stuff. And it sounded like it was straining the bike when you tried to do that. So I put a 14 front and a 48 rear, and man, what a freaking difference. This thing is now a wheelie machine. I barely have to try. I barely have to load up the front suspension, or all of the suspension, to get the front wheel to pop off the ground, where before I was having to really struggle to get the front end up. The front of the bike felt real heavy all the time. Now it feels light in every gear, even up into fifth. When I nailed it in fifth earlier, I got up to about 75, but from fourth to fifth, I nailed it, and I was just like, oh my God, the takeoff power was incredibly impressive compared to what it was before. The only other thing performance-wise I've done to this bike is I removed the smog kit that came factory on this thing. I haven't done the Dave's mod or any of the jetting yet. I plan to do that in the future. But for right now, it's running great and riding great, stopping great, and pulling wheelies better than ever before. So now I need to practice up on not letting wheelies go too far where you end up, flipping out and ruining your back fender and your tail light. I didn't do that yet, but I felt it's just so much more torquey down low. It's really easy to get it up in about 12 o'clock position. And for me, being a novice on wheelies, that's kind of scary. So the time I did it, I ended up slamming the brake and then slamming the front end down, which of course didn't hurt the bike, but it was kind of jarring. So anyways, guys, an incredible machine here. Once you get the street gearing off of it, I mean, it just totally opened this bike up. It's so much better out on the trails, and these tires make it just that much better in the dirt. And I don't know, I haven't tried it in the mud yet. I expect they'll be pretty good in the mud because they're big blocky tires, and they were cheap, man. Basically 50 bucks a piece for the tires. I had to get some inner tubes, and I also bought some new handlebars, but I haven't put those on yet. So anyways, so far I am just loving it, man. I mean, a wheelie machine, and it's just got so much more out of the whole power for when you're out off-roading or when you're in the street situation and you need to blip down into like fourth gear and then get some serious torque down to the ground to pull yourself out of a sticky situation. It's going to do a lot better now than it would have before with that street gearing on it. So I highly advise this 1448 sprocket combination. I went with primary drive on the front and primary drive chain, I believe was the kind I got. And I just got the regular O-ring chain. They had this other one called X-ring, but it was like quite a bit more money. And so I figured an O-ring chain was what it had on it from the factory. That's probably good enough because since this bike is a 96 model and it still looks this good. Yeah, it's got a couple scratches here and there, but now I'd have never picked the color scheme, but I bought this bike with like 600 miles on it. So factory original miles. I bought it from the original owner, and anyways, really, really wonderful find. I got a great deal on it, and finally I'm putting some money into this old girl and just making her even better than before. So I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you love XR650Ls as much as I do, and if you don't have one, well, that's why you don't love them. Go out and ride one, especially if you're tall enough. If you're below 5'11", you're probably not gonna be able to handle this beast, but 5'11" and above, and 5'11" guys are gonna be tippy-toeing. I'm 6 foot tall and I tippy toe quite a bit because it's a tall sprung bike, but man, it's got incredible ground clearance, and just look at it. Even with the weird 90s color scheme, it's just a freaking incredibly cool looking motorcycle that'll take you anywhere. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until then, we'll see you next time.